Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premiere podcast here on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube. It's Ply and the Professor. I'm so glad to be back with my lovely, beautiful co-host. How are you, Preach? Nice to see you.
Oh, tired and good. Yeah, it's good to finally do a podcast with you. It's been,
Whew. Well, just I've been moving and putting things together and taking care of kids who never want to leave, but it's a good problems to have, not bad problems. But
now we can bring back the subject matter instead of talking about philosophical theory and political theory. We're going
listen,
really the thing that two 43-plus-year-old men should be talking about.
Absolutely.
Video games.
Doom. And that's what brought us back together. Ply's favorite franchise had a new release last week of May 15th officially. It came out. I got the $100 edition on PlayStation, so I was playing it on May 12th. Then I downloaded it on Game Pass on my Xbox and PC, and so I've been playing it parallel on the stream on the PlayStation, because that's where I'm the farthest, and I've been testing it and messing with it on the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series S, I've been playing it on that, and my PC, which I have not tried the PC yet, so I have it downloaded, but I have not pushed. I'm going to be playing on a 3080 Ti just to see what it can do on there. But you've known me for a long time. You've known me since what, 2018, 2019? And first thing I said to you was, "Hi, I'm Ply. I love the Doomslayer." Mm-hmm. So that was like the first thing I said to you. And you're like, "Hi, I'm Preach. I like everything else." Yeah. So we
I like all the games that I already, the first thing I said to you is, I can already tell I will like all the games that you don't like and vice versa.
Yes, we agreed. We agreed. However, it's very hard to make fun of the Doom franchise because id Software has, since their inception, I know they're a little different now, they usually hit it out of the park. They usually do. I mean, they've had a couple missteps. Some people would argue Doom 3 was a misstep. However, Doom 3 holds a special place in my heart because that's how I learned how to build a PC. I had to learn how to build a PC and put one together so I could actually play Doom 3. So,
what was the last one? What was the one before this one?
Doom Eternal?
Eternal,
yeah. So, we've had the original Dooms when we were kids. Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 64, Final Doom, all that when we were younger. And then, obviously, Wolfenstein came just before that. And then Quake was in there with id was doing Quake for a while.
Yeah, those are different. Yeah. Those are different.
However, if you play the new Dooms, you feel the movement style of Quake. Like, they kind of took the Quake movement style and incorporated it into Doom 2016, to me, and Doom Eternal. But we got the big one now. Doom the Dark Ages is here, finally. This is the first one under Xbox's actual banner when they purchased id and ZeniMax, I think. It's kind of the parent, Bethesda, and then id Software worked for them. So this is the very first one that was fully developed under the umbrella of Microsoft Studios. And I have not beaten it yet, but I'm about halfway through the game on 3 different systems. So I've been playing. And it's fucking awesome, dude. Like, if you love Doom, it's Doom. I've heard a few complaints about it. I've heard a few people nagging about it. They think it's slower than the other Dooms. However, it's not. I don't think it is. But they got rid of the one thing I hated in Doom Eternal. The one thing that makes me not play that game a lot anymore. The platforming. I hated the platforming. It was like Super Mario Brothers was inside of Doom. Remember? They had like the spinning wheels of fire you had to jump through, like Mario would have to jump through, platforms floating all over the place. You had to time and it was everywhere. It wasn't even a few sections. So I don't really play Doom Eternal, even though I love Doom Eternal. I don't really play it much anymore because of the platforming. I don't like it. I always go back to Doom 2016 when I have a bad day. And I've been playing through the Dark Ages. And it's a prequel. Which is weird. It's a prequel, but it's not a prequel. So I just learned kind of a lot of this stuff over the course of Eternal and the Dark Ages. The Doom Slayer is the Doom Marine. You know that, right? From the original games. It's the same guy. Like he's
Eternal or something.
He got trapped in hell at the end of Doom 64 for Nintendo 64. Mm-hmm. And he was destroying all the demons down there as a regular Marine. He was just like nuts and he was killing everybody. So the demons didn't know what to do with him, so they like ejected him out of hell. Like they and they shot him across the galaxy. And he ended up with these Night Sentinels, this like human race that has like a giant kingdom of planets on the other side of the known galaxy. And the Makers are kind of like the heavenly portion of the Doom, what do you call it, universe? Yeah. So the Makers are kind of like the heaven. They're an ancient alien race, but they're kind of like supposed to be the good guys. They portray themselves as the good guys. And then they get a hold of the Doom Slayer, the Doom Marine, and they realize that he's just like insanely good at killing demons. So in Doom the Dark Ages, the game starts off, this isn't a spoiler, the game starts off, the Makers have enslaved him. They trapped him and they use him as a weapon. So they put him in this thing called the Divinity Maker, which is basically like Barry Bonds taking a shot in the ass before he goes out and plays a baseball game.
Right.
It's basically an alien steroid machine. They put him in this Divinity Maker. That's where he gets all these crazy ass fucking powers, where he's going even faster, jumping around, just, whatever. Yeah. And then whenever there's a problem on a planet and hell is trying to take a planet, they shoot him down like a nuclear missile. And they say, go kill the demons. The problem is every time they do it, they expend a lot of energy keeping him under control. And he's starting to break that control. And somehow, and I have not beaten it yet, somehow Doom the Dark Ages ends and Doom 2016 begins.
Right.
When he's found in that tomb on Mars and Samuel Hayden unburies him. So it's the graphics are really id Tech is amazing.
Looks good, yeah.
id Tech, they just remember how many we could run Doom on everything with these guys. Generally, they have never been a studio to have to worry about bugs or glitches. Generally, they have that id Tech software. It's id Tech 8 now. That graphical engine that just is smooth as butter for first person shooting. And it runs amazing on the PlayStation 5. It runs amazing on the Xbox Series X.
I heard that their PC settings are different, and it requires ray tracing to.
I think it does, yeah.
And so that's why some of the older hardware is struggling, because it forces ray tracing to be turned on.
Like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, you could not play without an RTX card. I know this because when I got Little Playa's computer for Christmas, I promised him the first thing he could do was play Indiana Jones in the Great Circle.
And then, yeah. I
downloaded it because I bought him Game Pass. He had a AMD 580 graphics card that came with the PC, like a $500-$600 PC. And I downloaded it and I went to go play it and it goes, no, you can't play this. Your card doesn't do ray tracing. It just wouldn't let him play the game. So
yeah.
So I had to learn that lesson, but I think it's the same problem now as what you're saying, is they force ray tracing on. I don't know if the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are doing some weird form of ray tracing.
They have to be doing, I don't know if it's ray tracing or they just simply turned that off for consoles. Because they do turn, that's usually what happens when they get good performance on consoles. They turn off certain settings that are just on for the PC. It's since PCs are so broad in how you could make them, they it's a different, so they almost completely program two games, if you will. One's for consoles, and then one's for PCs. And so I'm guessing they may have probably just got rid of that, or I'm sure they have some light under the, some version of it, but it can't be the same. It can't
some
be
lighting tricks.
It can't be actual ray tracing, because the GPUs in the consoles aren't that the tier for ray tracing, so it had to be something else.
Yeah,
well, but I'm sure they figured it out.
Whatever's happening, it's running at a smooth buttery 60,
Yeah.
At a maybe AI driven 4K or something.
Yeah.
It looks amazing on the Xbox Series S. You can tell a noticeable downscale.
Okay.
So it's definitely not running even at 1080p. So Doom the Dark Ages on the Xbox Series S runs at like 960p or something.
Yeah,
it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. But it's definitely not.
At this point in time, that's old. That's old tech now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're getting ready. They're getting ready to come out with the PlayStation 6.
Yeah,
all that stuff. And I heard, we were talking about this earlier, but I think I heard that's when they're going to announce maybe their pricing changes is whenever they.
Well, that would be the smart time to do it, not in the middle of selling us old used cars.
No, I agree.
Xbox was nuts for nobody's buying an S now or an X.
Yeah, unless they're just doing that so that nobody will blink when the new generation of consoles come out.
Yeah,
everybody be like, oh, yeah, oh,
$700.
It's like the initial shock of like everything's going up in price.
Yeah,
will already have been out of their system for consoles that like. I genuinely think they may have told Xbox, you do it because nobody's buying your shit anyway. So when they get mad and don't buy the upgraded prices,
then we can all jump.
It doesn't matter, and then we can all, when we want our new consoles to sell, we can all sell it without the backlash.
Still dirty.
Which would be smart. I mean,
it is smart, but it's dirty, man.
Oh no, it's absolutely dishonest. Yeah, no,
to raise the price of the Xbox Series S by $100. Yeah. That thing is like just slightly better than a PS4.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be the entryway for people to play Game Pass and be in the Xbox. And now it's priced the same as a PlayStation 5. Who the fuck is going to buy an S when you get a PlayStation 5 for $399? Like an actual PlayStation 5. There's no point in getting the S. I was going to buy another one. I was in the market because I wanted one in every room in this house. Because you know me, I don't like fucking moving systems all over in every room. So I'm trying to get a PlayStation and Xbox in every room that I need it. You know what I mean? The bathroom, the living room, my bedroom, down here. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucking, I went to go buy one, and that's when I ran into that price increase when we did that podcast episode a few weeks ago. And I said, no, I'm good. I'm not doing this. I'm just going to juice up my PC or do something. Like, I stopped. Because I couldn't bring myself to spend $400 on a Xbox Series S. I'm like... And I like the thing. I actually think it's a good little box.
Yeah.
But it's not $400 box. Believe me, I've had $400 box. That ain't $400 box. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that is not good. That is PlayStation 5 is way more worthy of a box for the same amount of money. So anyway, Doom, the Doom guy.
I was gonna say, speaking of price increases, and you could bring that in if you want. You know?
Yeah. So the Doom guy. A lot of people, like you said it was slower. I don't believe it's slower, number one. Number two, I think it's just a different style of gameplay. They encourage you to continually move forward and be aggressive. There is no real, there's no verticality to it like there was in Doom Eternal. There's a ton of verticality. That's kind of gone. There's a little bit of verticality, but it's not. They've washed it all down. It's all about the shield, man. The whole game is generally about the shield. Like, the guns are awesome. You have fun. But the shield is where it's at. You block everything. The attacks are color coded, so like red attacks you can kind of block. They'll damage you a little bit. Green attacks you shoot and you hit them and they go back at the enemy, and you have to work on your timing to block those greens, get them back to them because they do massive damage to get rid of their armor. Once they get rid of their armor, you throw the shield. The shield digs into them. It has a chainsaw on the outside. So it digs through them, and then they're stunned. And as they're stunned, you unload your guns on them until they're purple. And then you finish them off with your gauntlet or your, what's that thing called? A ball and chain. You get like different melee weapons. Mace. You get one of those. I have not gotten the final weapon yet. There's a final melee weapon in the game. I'm on like level 12 of 22. So, but I know there's one more coming, but I've gotten all the regular guns, so I've been able to play with like the machine gun, the shotgun, the super shotgun, all those things. I've been able to use those, and you kind of settle into which one's your favorite, like all the other ones.
I
always settle into the plasma is usually my favorite one in every game. Although the Skull Crusher is cool. You like the Skull Crusher. It's like a giant spread machine gun that as you shoot the bullets, It's bringing up human skulls into this. They look like human skulls anyway. They might be demon skulls, but it's crunching them and turning the skull bones into bullets and then shooting them off. You also get a tech suit mech suit in this.
I heard about the mech suit.
Yeah. So you get your own mech suit and you get to like fist fight demons like Godzilla and King Kong going at it. And you get a dragon.
Dragon, yep.
A cyber dragon. And a little awkward. Not the flying is easy. The shooting on it's a little weird because it kind of like they want you to like, say you have to attack an enemy who's in front of you and you have to hold L2 to kind of block, which is kind of the shield mechanic. Same thing, right? And when you block, they shoot things at you and then you kind of like got to move your stick left and right and it locks the dragon into one spot. And then as you click left and right, it has the dragon swing back and forth to avoid those shots. But it locks you into a predetermined spot. So it's not like you hit L2 and you'll stop where you are. It brings you to that quick time event spot that it wants you to be in. So it's a little awkward at first. You're kind of like, eh. But the dragon itself looks cool. It's badass. And it does like finishing moves. So when you finish off a demon, it'll swing down and rip out its throat. And then fucking fly back up with you. So there's no lack of testosterone in this game, by the way. The soundtrack is insanely good. It's not as good as the 2016 one that everybody loves.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that was one thing I read was people were like, man, they wish they still had the old music composer.
Yeah, Mick Gordon.
I think so. I can't remember.
Gordon.
I just remember them talking about it was the old guy. Yeah,
they got into a.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but yeah, they're like you could tell.
This soundtrack is good. It was done by a group called Finishing Move or Finishing Theory or something like that. They're like a heavy metal group, and they composed all the music. And it's on Spotify, so I've been jamming it in the car, especially when the kids want to talk to me. I turn it all the way up. So, but it's good. It is good. It's got some catchy tunes. It's heavy. It makes you sweat a little bit. Makes your heart pump a little bit. It is not as memorable as Doom 2016's Rip and Tear and all those songs. But I do think it's better than Doom Eternal's soundtrack.
Okay.
Like I think I'm arguing whether or not this ice cream is better than that ice cream, even when I love all ice cream. So just in context, these three games are like my favorite three games, like almost of all time. So I'm just trying to rank them, and like they're like this, but Doom 2016 as of right now is still the best of the three. I think it was just perfection. Nobody expected it. They had canceled Doom 4. You remember that story. They were working on Doom 4, and Doom 4 was going to be a Call of Duty clone. And they worked on it for a while, and it was called, everybody on the internet would call it Call of Doom. And it had like multiplayer and cover-based and regenerative health and like all the things that Call of Duty does well. It didn't know what to do. They were kind of chasing, kind of like what we're about to talk about with Bungie and Destiny and Marathon. It didn't have like a personality anymore, even though they invented this shit. They were kind of chasing other developers to try to do what the other developers were doing. Like instead of having their own identity, which they created back in the late 90s, when we all loved the originals. So they had to make the decision. They scrapped Doom 4 completely. They went back to basics with Doom 2016. Obviously, they refined it. But they went back to basics with Doom 2016. Nobody knew it was coming out. Me, you, nobody. We knew a Doom game was coming, but we didn't realize what it was going to be. And when it dropped, they didn't even let anybody review it. Like before the day it came out, Doom 2016, which is usually a shitty sign. Usually you're like, oh, this game's going to suck.
Because they wanted to surprise
They knew they had a banger on their hands. And I just remember the feeling of euphoria and peace and that everything was going to be okay the day I laid on the couch.
2016. That was...
Yeah.
I think that was the last one I played. But I played all of them up to about 2016.
Yeah, it was the glory kills. It was the arena combat. Everything was perfect in that. The Doom guy didn't have to talk. It had just enough story to keep you going, but you didn't need a lot of story.
Yeah.
The chainsaw, like everything they did in the music game was just absolute. The depiction of hell in that one was amazing. So this one, I will say one of the, I guess I got to be fair-minded, this is not a perfect game. I think it's a little drab so far, this one. I think Doom 2016 had a lot of personality where it was like ultra violent, but it also had these moments where like he would pick up a toy doll of himself and play with it.
Yeah.
Like it had a little bit of brevity to it, the Doom 2016. Doom Eternal was insanely colorful and arcadey. And it took the Doom Slayer to like the next level of like, I'll kick your ass. So like that one was really bright. Like all the ammo was like hot pink and fucking, remember it was visually like had you locked in because it was so like neon pretty, but violent. This one, it's kind of always cloudy and rainy. Like it's a lot of browns. It's a lot of rain. Not a lot of like, and I'm on level 12. I just got to hell, by the way. So I'm just now seeing how they redid the landscapes of hell. And the main antagonist is this guy, Prince Ozrock, who looks like what's his name? Tim Curry from the movie Legend with Tom Cruise. He's like this big red horned guy. And clearly he's British because every villain in a movie has to be British. But he's he talks like this, But
and British voice actors are cheaper, so that's
probably, and they don't have as good of a union. So it looks great. It's just drab. Like it's not there hasn't been any like moments where you chuckled a little bit with a little bit of like actual humor. Yeah. Like just to like bring it down a notch real quick while your testosterone levels are 8,000%. There hasn't been a little like I haven't run into that. Also, the Doomslayer is not really alone in this one as you move through the story. He was always supposed to be a one-man army, right? The only person they fear is me. And as the story progresses, he's starting to take orders from, essentially, and work with other people.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil it, but
yeah, that's fine. I'm wondering though, because what you're saying. I'm wondering if that's where some of the complaints for, say, maybe the gameplay being a little slow or easier or short, some of the complaints are offset by you being very busy and not having, like, you didn't dive in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've played it, but you've played it in, like, chunks. Like, you haven't even finished it yet.
Couple hours at a time.
Whereas now, a lot of gamers, especially reviewers, but just in general, they're very like, if you get a new game, you sink 3 days straight solid into it, right? And so I'm wondering if that could be for you. It feels more, you don't get the negative impact of some of these, like maybe a repetitive element or something that doesn't hit you as hard because it's kind of a little bit, you get a refresher because you play for a few hours and then you're off for a while and you play for a few hours, and so that it's good for that. And because you were just saying, I was like, I wonder if that's where you're seeing a little bit of it was almost made for people with your schedule. Like
it might be
43-year-olds with 2 children and new houses. And, it's made for that as opposed to the 18-year-old who's in college and sits down and just plays, for 3 days straight.
Yeah. I mean, I could see where there'd be some repetitive in it, but I don't think it's any more or less repetitive than the other two with the gameplay loop. Yeah, they've added some new things. But
I'm wondering if it gets repetitive. Like you're at chapter 12. I wonder if you'll start to notice that. I mean, you'll have to keep us updated.
Our next episode, I'll probably have it beat. I am gonna go back and 100% the game after I finish the story.
Oh, of course, you got to. Yeah.
I'm getting every toy, every collectible, everything in it. But I'm not doing that on the stream. It's funny on the stream. We'll see who actually pays attention to our podcast from the stream. On the stream, I've been playing it on normal at normal speed, even they all think I'm playing it on easy. But I've been playing it on normal difficulty. But off stream, I juiced up the speed of the game to like 130%, and I put it up to ultra violence, which is like hard, but like the one down from like the hardest.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. So I don't know where anybody's talking about how this is slow, because if you think it's slow, all you got to do is turn the slider.
Well, I think that's what somebody said is. They said if you think the game's too easy, because that was one of the complaints, is the game is too easy. They said just
you can mess with it.
Difficulty level. That's what they said. Just up the difficulty level. Like it's not.
Well,
which I mean, again, I haven't played it yet. I will end up playing
I think
it,
you'll like it, to be honest with you.
I'm just finishing up what I'm doing with Oblivion and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure I will. I liked 2016. I mean, I enjoy Doom pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, I also got Claire that I'm gonna have to. I've already been told that I will be playing that by Placebo, because he started playing Claire and he's like, dude, this is.
Oh, the Expedition 33 one. I played a little bit of it. I can see where people would love it. It's turn-based, so I'm out. I don't. Yeah. But if you love that Final Fantasy turn-based style of combat,
it's like active turn-based because you still have to dodge and block and parry. But yes,
I know you will love it.
Yes, that's what he said. It's very down my. But anyway, so I've got a couple of games on the docket once I finish out.
And Doom will be there for you. Doom will be there for you.
That's what I thought. It's a single player story game, so it's not one of those games where it doesn't feel like Call of Duty, where if you're behind by a week, the game just sucks because everybody's got all their shit unlocked.
No, you don't need that.
That's what I like about single player games. You can be like, oh, I can wait a month till I get money or till I got time, and then I'll play it, and I get the exact same experience. Everyone else got. So yeah, it should be. I will be playing it. I plan on it.
The criticisms that people have of it, I've noticed, and I've seen some of them too, and I'm working real hard to pull out some criticisms for you.
Yeah.
The criticisms of a game of this level are very nitpicky though, because this is a high quality. There's no message in it.
It's not broken. Yeah.
There's no politics in it. There's no message in it. It's high quality. It fucking works well. The shooting is on par with the best that Call of Duty ever did. Like, it knows what they're doing when it comes to first-person shooters.
How it feels.
If you think it's too slow, if you think it's too easy, there's actually 1 million sliders in the difficulty option where you can increase the level of projectiles or slow them down. You can increase the speed of the Doomslayer, increase enemy aggressiveness. There's like 10 different options to fuck with the game to make it harder or easier in different areas. Like the parry timing for your shield can be more forgiving or less forgiving. Like all those things are there. So for anybody, I know some people are like, wow, that's too many settings. You can mess with it's not what you can play as they intended, which they give you.
Yeah.
Or they give you, what the fuck is wrong with more options? Or they give you, and if you think it's too slow, bro, I put it on 150 for a few minutes, 150% speed just to see what it was like. I almost threw up. And I don't get sick on video games.
Yeah.
It was so fast. No frame rate skip. No, I turned off motion blur. No, it ran like butter at 150% too. So anybody who has those criticisms to me are illegitimate, because you can change that. And it does not penalize you for trophies. It does not penalize you for achievements. If you
the people that I've seen review it, that I usually like and trust, give it between a 7 and an 8. I hear you giving it about a 9.5, but I'm going to take a little bit off of that because you are a nostalgia whore.
I'm
so
also Doom's my favorite of all time.
Yes. I have to take off a point for not. But yeah,
and I would rate it a 9.
So I'm guessing
I wouldn't
it's
rate it a
9. 7 and an 8.5.
Yeah,
which means that to me that is a very good game. You should play.
And it's on Game Pass.
And that's what I'm saying. I've seen people who are honest about it, even people who have been like on the anti-cancel culture. If it's a bad game, they will tell you don't buy it.
Yeah.
They've been like, it's a good game. I've seen them talk about like it not selling as well on Steam and stuff. But it's almost more of a curiosity. They're like, I wonder why this.
Yeah, it's not a quality issue.
Occurred.
Yes.
Yes, because the game is fine. People should be playing it. I wonder if it's like a timing, pricing. There's a couple of things that I think came into play there.
I don't think it's marketing. I don't think marketing was an issue. They even marketed Doom: The Dark Ages at WrestleMania. They had Drew McIntyre come out as the Doomslayer for his match. And the Shield, it looked great. Yeah, that was one of the matches. Was Drew McIntyre was fighting the big Scottish guy.
Audience.
Yeah, and it looked, but I don't think marketing was an issue. And we'll segue into this part of the conversation now. But I don't think marketing was an issue. I don't think quality of game was an issue, and I don't think any DEI bullshit.
Yeah, that wasn't.
There, you could tell there was no corporate. Well, we need this in there. We need that in there. Check this box. Get this person. Sweet Baby didn't touch this game, bro. That's, you know what I'm saying? So those are not issues. I will say that this game was the first. This is on Game Pass. So Microsoft really pushes Game Pass. And are you going to spend $69.99? Or are you going to spend $10 a month, $15 a month and get all the games? And Doom is not made, like, for people who are not huge fans like me who are going to have a full-size Doom Slayer in my studio. They don't need to own this shit. They're going to play it over the weekend. They're going to play it for a week or whatever. And they're going to beat it. And they're going to wait for the next one in 5 years. They're good. They're not going after trophies and 100% and you know, all that kind of shit. So to me, that 30,000 plus Steam concurrent view number that you and I saw a couple days ago on X Twitter.
Yeah.
I think we're going to hear from Microsoft and id pretty soon. Honestly, I don't think we're going to hear bullshit like Ubisoft. I think we're going to hear, honestly, we had this on this, but boy, you guys crushed it over here on Game Pass or the PlayStation sale. Because I bought it on PlayStation.
So here's my question. I agree with that. I think that's fine. But I know Expedition 33 was also on Game Pass. I know Oblivion Remastered was also on Game Pass. And so Oblivion hit 300K. Expedition 33 hit 100K. So there has to be something. I mean, I don't know what it is. That's the thing. I can't put it because it couldn't be completely that because there were other games that came in. And this is what we were talking about. Maybe I wonder if it is that price tag of $70, even though it's only $20 more than the other two. It just visually, mentally, there is a blockade there. That's when people are like, maybe I'll pay $15 and play it.
Well, yeah,
you know, like at 50, people are like, oh, I'll go play $50, and it's also time, right? Like both. Oblivion, you're going to get 100+ hours out of. The Expedition 33 is between like 60 and 85 hours for a playthrough. I do wonder if that also is like are people tight on money? Like,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what else it would be because
I would say number one, I believe the Elder Scrolls has a bigger fan base than Doom does. Just being honest, you know. Yeah. So. I think there's a bigger following for Elder Scrolls than there is for Doom. Doom is a pretty niche boomer shooter, you know, testosterone-filled fucking violent fest that, you know, segment of the population like me love. Kind of like a Mortal Kombat segment. You know, you got a Doom segment. You know, like, but let's be honest, more people play Madden even though we know that game sucks. And there's a bigger fan base for Elder Scrolls, which I don't think sucks. I'm not.
I saw one yesterday that showed over the weekend that Farm Simulator 25 had 35K and Doom had 33. And they were making the point, like, it doesn't make, like, clearly Doom's a really good game and probably better than even Farm Simulator 25. But it's just hitting that, you know, it has to be with.
I think the gaming industry left a bad taste in everybody's mouth with this $80 bullshit. And a lot of people are like, fuck your 70. We're not even going to 80. I think that's part of it. I also think Game Pass is a huge part of it.
Yeah,
I think Expedition 33 was an oddity and an internet curiosity that blew up because of the story behind it of only 30 people. And they quit. I think, was it Ubisoft they quit? They quit one of them. They left, right?
I think it's Square. Well,
was it Square or I thought it was Ubisoft, but whatever.
I know they were inspired by Final Fantasy, and like that's why it feels very Final Fantasy.
The lead guy thought
you're right. They may have left Ubisoft. You might be right.
He was bored.
Yeah,
he was locked down by all these corporate decisions, and he said, "Fuck this," and he took people with him, and they made So Expedition 33 is kind of like a Helldivers moment to me. Where it's that internet story.
Good. Everything I've heard is that it did
like the original Helldivers too. Everybody was, you know what I mean? So I think that's part of that. And then I just think Elder Scrolls has a bigger, and Elder Scrolls was $50.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 50?
Yep.
And Expedition was 40, right?
I think they were both 50 actually. I think they're both 50.
Wherever they were lower than Doom.
Yeah, so they were cheaper.
Yeah, so I think price is a part of it. I think a lot of people looked at it and said, boy, I'd like to play that. It's on Game Pass. Yeah. I think that was I don't think Expedition 33 is going to pull people to Game Pass. I think if they see it on Steam and they don't use Game Pass, it's $50. This looks cool. Everybody says this is great.
I'll say, if I'm honest, I wish I would have known all three of those were going to be on. I wish I was paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I would have done Game Pass and got all three.
$15 for a couple months. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you don't need to own them.
Less than the price of one. Yeah, exactly.
Xbox has made the decision to run the ball hard with Game Pass, period. Like, and I get it. They're doing stupid things as points of entry. They're blocking people from home console to get to that Game Pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, raise the price of Game Pass $1 or $2. I don't know what to tell you.
I did hear some people theorize that they think Game Pass will eventually go up to $30 a month.
Yeah, once they
all
corner
the games
market,
go to 80, 90, once all games hit that range.
Yeah, then they'll just be like, play them here.
They'll be like, oh, you have to, but it's still cheaper. So, yeah,
you will own nothing and you will like it.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking Klaus Schwab. Come at me, bro. So anyway, yeah, I just think that's a part of it. And also, too, Doom Eternal came out during COVID.
Yeah, that was another argument I saw.
So,
I can't really compare it to, everybody was trapped indoors.
We
play games. Yeah.
It hit at, like, the peak of COVID.
Yeah.
When nobody was leaving. So that's how it hits its 110, I think.
I kind of agree with that. I also think that helped.
I think Microsoft I think it is an honest studio. I do too. When I hear those guys, I watch their videos and they talk about how they're making games and they have these really cool videos about their new mechanics and everything. They don't come across to me as bullshitty as the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like they seem like guys who like just really love what the fuck they do and they're like totally into the Doomslayer. They're like, we made the most badass thing ever. We don't care. Like they're like, that's the way they come across to me. They love Doomslayer and they love what they're doing. And they're so excited to show it to everyone. They love the music that's being composed for it. They all look, they're fucking jamming. Mm-hmm. So I hope they tell us the truth. Because
I think we'll get a good, honest feedback out of it.
And I hope they tell us if is it as successful as they wanted it to be? Does Microsoft consider it a success? Or does some things need to change? There's also no multiplayer in this one. That might be part of it. Even though Doom doesn't have a huge multiplayer fan base.
Yeah,
because
it always helps to have a little extra something.
Bit. Yeah, there's no other game mode to justify the $70.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen when I beat the campaign. I don't know if there's a new game plus. I don't know if you can carry over all your
I wonder how much that
upgrades.
70 price tag was Microsoft telling them you will charge $70 for this. Like, I wonder if on their own would have charged less. Like if they had full control over the pricing, or if like they were kind of like, we're moving all our pricing this way, so you're going to be leading the way.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You get to be the first $70 game.
They might. I will say Doom does not come across as a cheap budgeted title.
Yeah, it's just the length, but the quality is there. Yeah.
It feels like a big budget summer movie. So they definitely amped it up, like in production values with these 3 games. All 3 games never felt cheap, So I'm curious as you. I'm just as curious as you to see where this plays out over the next week or two. I will also say historically, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, the price drops pretty fast on them. They don't stay at $70 for very long. Yeah. They kind of always go down to the $20, $30 range, and after about 6 months to a year, because they're single player, like boomer shooters, and then so maybe a lot of people are thinking, that's going to be 30 foot. Gamers are smart, man. They know. But it did have 150,000 people watching it on Twitch on May 12th when I was playing the premium edition, and it still had 60, 70, 80,000 over the weekend watching it. Right. So people were interested in it, right. So, and it has name recognition. The shitty movies don't help, but every time they try to make a Doom movie, it's fucking hot trash. But, dude, I highly recommend it to anybody who likes first person shooters, especially boomer shooters. And if you love Doom, I mean, you have what more can you ask for? Like the Doomslayer is the most. They do not. He's badass in this. Period. They don't. There's no.
I was gonna say, if you made a Doomslayer movie or a Doom movie, it should basically be a stylized, almost like a John Wick vibe. Because that's kind of what I think of John Wick. He just goes in and kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah.
And it's just all this. I feel like that should be and they always try to like slow it down or make it a more meaningful movie, and it's like that doesn't fit the vibe, you know.
No, we go into that game as a power fantasy. Period.
Yeah, that's what that is, and I think they've missed it on the Hollywood side.
They do not sacrifice at all on that for people who love it in this game. So if you want to go in feeling OP'd, if you want to go in feeling, I mean, you can definitely crank it up where you don't feel OP'd, but if you want to go in feeling OP'd and do the Lord's work for a couple hours a day and go in there and whoop ass, you're good. You're in the right spot, man.
Mm-hmm.
No mercy. Fuck. And I do recommend, one last thing, I do recommend turning the sound effects down to like 60-70%.
Yeah.
Seriously, and turn the music up to 100%. And then get yourself a little towel to wipe off the sweat, because it will make you pump. It'll make your heart pump. You will be amped, and that music is good, man. It's jamming. It's pumping. You know, so that's the last recommendation I can make. I will report back to you next week when I beat it. My final grade on it. You know, my final is all right, that sucked. The ending blew, or what? You know. Also, there's big DLCs coming out for it.
Okay.
They have already announced two, like they did with Doom Eternal. They did the Ancient Gods Part 1, the Ancient Gods Part 2, which added like 12 levels with this one, and 12. They added another like whole game onto Doom Eternal. Yeah. So it's basically like 50 levels. And that game ends where I think Doomslayer kills the devil. So I don't know if that's the completion of this story arc as Doom Eternal, and this is kind of like the beginning. And it's basically the devil. He kills Satan, but Satan is like the antithesis of him, and he looks just like him. And then it's like Doomslayer versus Doomslayer at the end of Ancient Gods Part 2. Really good battle, by the way. But it kind of felt like the story was over of the Doomslayer in that particular arena, what was going on.
Right.
And this is kind of like the beginning, you know, this is obviously the beginning and how it...
Just like they didn't have enough time to come up with a completely new story and what he was going to do after that, because like you said,
there isn't after that.
Yeah. So it's like they had to go to a prequel, and now they're really stuck. Now they got to figure something out, because
I think I think they built enough of a universe around. It's not just heaven and hell anymore that they can't expand upon it.
They tried to make it to where there's something else that they can do if they need to keep the Doom franchise going.
Yeah,
they'll find something else they can.
Yeah, there's always another Sauron.
Yeah,
they can pull that out of there. We don't care. We just want them to rip and tear. So rip and tear until it is done, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, I take my hats off to id Software. Especially with all the bullshit you and I put up with in the gaming industry and the things that they do to all of us, like other studios. And I just don't feel like I'm ever getting a raw deal with id.
Yeah.
Even when they try something new that doesn't quite work, like Rage, you know, when they tried to go off the Doom path and tried to do that open world Fallout-y style.
Was fun. I mean, I played it. It was good.
It was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just tell they were kind of lost and didn't know what to do besides Doom. And, but... You know, and I think they did the original Wolfensteins too. I'm pretty sure they did the original Wolfensteins. The Machine Games took over under Bethesda. Machine Games did the new ones. But yeah, it is the top tier studio. There's no, to me, and they're still respectable, and I hope it stays that way, because there's very few heroes and people we can trust left in this industry a lot of times.
Well, especially in the big, I was gonna say, in the AAA,
in the big ones,
studios, yeah.
And I'm so glad that the AA and smaller indie studios are always nipping at their heels, and I hope that they nip enough to make all those big studios we used to really love and cherish and respect course correct on a lot of the bullshit that they do.
Yeah, I don't know if they will, because I just think they're so. But I think if nothing else,
well, then they'll get replaced.
That's what I was going to say. I think there may be a period of time as gamers we're going to have to be okay with a shift of the big boys dying out, and then the smaller AA studios, like the one that make, but they'll make, because they made a bunch of money. So now they can put it into either other games and other studios, or what, that, you know, there'll be a shift.
New IPs.
New IPs, different things will grow in its place.
All those original studios weren't big studios. They took chances and did it when we were younger. So, and it was small. It wasn't a big studio back in the 90s when they were putting their games on floppy disk.
Well, that's what I like about the Expedition 33, right? It proved that you can have what looks like a AAA game
with 30 people
and all that without having to have 1,000 people on your
100%.
Their cutscene or their credits were like 7.5 minutes, and it was showing that the credits of like the most recent Assassin's Creed or something was like 2 hours. So that was the difference in like production size between like it's like you don't need 2 hours of a credit scene in order to make a good game. That's just, you don't need to pay. It's too much blood, and I think it actually takes away, because if you have 30 people, they all can get the vision. They all have the story.
Yeah.
They're kind of like connected. They know, everybody knows what's going on in a grander scale. Because one of the guys I follow on Twitter was talking about how he had a friend that worked at one of the bigger studios, and their department, like, they don't even know what the story is. They don't. It's just like they get given a task.
Yeah, make a table.
They do the task.
Yeah.
Yes, and they do the task, and they make a certain guy look a certain way or move a certain way.
You lose the passion.
They don't know the you don't know the larger story. You don't know. You're disconnected from it.
Yeah.
It's just a job, and so I think it's actually healthier for the game industry to shrink down and get to where everybody is in on the entirety of the story, the vision for the game. You know, they're all in on it. I think that's going to help games.
Well, I think technology has moved so forward too. Like, we had that wonderful interview, which people should go back and listen to, with what was it? Raptor. With Raptor, he's talking about AI.
Yeah,
and they have a lot of new tools to help them. They don't need 1,000 people making these games anymore. You know, so. And I've been saying it on a lesser level, not an Expedition 33 level, but I was saying it for years when I was playing the indie horror games and things. Sometimes I'd run into a game that was like insanely good, and it's like one dude or one person. Please support my game. I made this game. And, you know, me, you, Black Ram, whoever would play, I'd play the game and go, fuck, one guy made this game? Like, so I think there is some come to Jesus needs to come to the AAA studios to calm it down, and they don't need to have 50,000 people and 6 legal departments and 4 marketing departments. I mean, I don't even know who they're employing or what they're doing, because when I see the new Madden, I'm like, I don't know who's working on this, because we always joke they're still using the studio, they're still using the stadiums.
Stuff.
Yeah, and
or there's a lot of administrative bloat. It's the same thing with colleges, right? Like, they have
or 100 people
in their DEI. It's like, you don't need 100 people to make sure that stuff's going on. Like,
bad chance.
It's bloat. It's increasing the cost, and it's not increasing the quality. If anything, it's decreasing it, right?
Yeah.
It's making it where there's so many goofball. I mean, I'm going over to academia, I'll bring it back to gaming, but, you know, there's so many goofball majors and degrees you can get that are useless, don't have work. Like, it needs to be you know, like, there could be a university that focuses on that if that's what you want to do, but every university has these dumb, like, interpretive dance degrees. It's like, every university doesn't need that. That's not going to be a usable life skill.
Yeah.
Like, sure, have Juilliard, the arts for the school for the arts. That's great. That's where you go. Or you maybe have another one. If you can't make it into Juilliard, you have the second one, right? But every university doesn't need these. I don't need to pay. If I'm getting a communication degree, I don't need to pay for someone else to get a dancing degree at the same university.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing has kind of happened to gaming, right? There's just too much bloat. There's too much fluff that the gamers are paying for, the studios are paying for, and it doesn't actually increase the quality.
Yeah, and then on top of that, when you have all that bloat and one person steals assets from a game or something, then nobody knows what's going on, and then they release the demo, and you got someone's assets in there because some jamoke.
They didn't even bother. So here's how bad. We're talking about Marathon and how they stole
Destiny or Bungie.
Bungie stole, and this isn't the first time. They actually have already been told they need to pay for a different game.
Yeah.
During Destiny, they actually stole art for Destiny as well, and they were supposed to pay a guy. They still haven't paid him out. But this one, it was so lazy that he had his like signature, like logo and stuff in the art, and Bungie used art with that signature in their stuff. Then there's a little like symbol and some words up in the top right hand corner, and it's his thing. Like
it's like wall graffiti in the game or something.
No, it's like it's on a picture or something they use.
It's
very common. I wish I could have the Twitter and I could show you an example of it.
Yeah,
but I mean it's used multiple times, and it's just in a lot of their stuff, and so they didn't even bother to take his like graphical signature out of their artwork before reusing it. And I mean, the problem is it's almost their entire art style this time. It wasn't like a setting, a part of like a storyline or something like that. They used it. The entire game stole his art, and they built their entire game art style off of his art, and then didn't give any credit, didn't give any payment to it.
And this is Marathon, the new one coming out.
Yeah, the new one. And
which
I think
nobody was interested even before they.
Yeah.
Even before.
I saw a few streamers try to be like, "Hey, this is actually pretty fun. Maybe you should give it a try or whatever." But I don't think I think it's dead because they tried to do a live stream. It was kind of like what we're doing, like a podcast, but they were doing it live where they took questions, and you should seen his face by the end of it. He was just like, because everybody's just like, you stole this art, and they eventually had to admit it. The problem is they then tried to lie about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, we gosh, what did they do? They lied about it, and they tried to act like it was only one person or like a couple people who weren't still part of their team, like they fired them.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And then it got their art director, their current art director, still follows the other artist on Twitter. They still follow him on Instagram. Like all their art department still follows this guy and still has like access and connections to his work. And so you can prove that they know he exists and that they've been following him for a long time. And that it wasn't just like some people they got rid of. Like they intentionally stole the art.
Why? Like that's the question. Why?
You want my honest opinion? DEI. They had to hire people who checked boxes but weren't skilled enough to do the work. So if you're not skilled enough but you have to get the work done, what do? You steal. You go online.
Or you steal. Like a kid who doesn't want to do homework in school or a test. He leans over and looks at the other test.
That's exactly what happened. And so they didn't want to lose their job, so they had to try to put something out. They don't have the capabilities to do it themselves. They just took somebody else's. And
the game the trailer did not inspire me at all when I saw it. I kind of went, what is this? Another MOBA?
Like, I thought it was ugly.
It looked like a trashier version of Destiny, which Destiny usually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I wasn't even interested in it when I saw it.
Yeah.
So they stole the wrong people's shit. Next time you're gonna steal from a fucking somebody we're interested in. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It was a weird. The whole marathon thing. I don't even know why they did it because everybody was wanting a new Destiny. That's really what it came down to. People were wanting a new Destiny, and they
to print the money, bro.
Yeah, and I don't know why Bungie spent the money on. I don't know if they just artistry. They wanted to do something. I don't know what it was. Yeah. If they had just put that time and said, "Listen, guys, we're coming out with a new Destiny. Just give us time." Everybody'd been happy and excited.
Was this pre-Sony owning them? Well, they must have been working on Marathon for a while. Remember Sony picked them up a couple years ago in reaction to Microsoft buying Activision?
I don't know when they started work on Marathon. I mean, it's not a big game. It is a It was that was the other complaint about it. It was a small game, like very repetitive.
Why are they wasting resources on this shit?
Yes,
go print money.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. I think they were under pressure to produce some sort of income, and so they were just going to try to throw out some shitty little. They thought they could do a multiplayer real quick and maybe get some money out of it, and that may have also been part of why they stole the.
Is Destiny 2 not doing well? I haven't checked in on it in a long time.
Yeah, no, it's dying. I mean, it's there's an old game.
There's a new expansion, the Last Light or something that came out probably 6 months ago. Big expansion to it. I just haven't. To me, back when I used to like Destiny. I loved it. The first Destiny I hated when I first played it because I was so disappointed in it. I thought it was going to be like this Fallout style open world. Remember when we first played it and you could tell the game was just chopped up because like they took everything. Yeah. But they course corrected that with that King DLC. There was some type of King one for Destiny 1 that it was really good. And then I played a lot of Destiny 2 back in the beginning, but to me, the story just got too convoluted for me. I was just like, the fuck is going on here? Like, I don't understand.
I just think it's so story based that it's really hard to maintain
it was just
a user base over a long period of time. Well, it's like WoW, right? Like, WoW keeps, but they have their core, and I do think there's still Destiny core players, and that's just their game.
Yeah.
But it's hard to keep a high player base because
it's
usually people are like, I've played it, I've beat it, I've done everything I want with it. I don't want to
put it
spend
out
100 hours a week for one item so that when I get together with my bros, I can be like, look at this one. There's very few people that have that kind of like mentality,
especially now.
Just waste time. Yeah.
Back in the day, grinding was more acceptable a long time ago in the gaming industry than it is today.
I still think if you had like people coming back to the game on a regular basis, and it just somehow it did lose popularity, and I think they had to come out with a brand new game. They needed to come out with something really genuinely big, new, that would have clicked with people. And they just, I don't know if they needed the money to pay for their over bloated, production for what Destiny would be, because it's part of a big company now, so it may have just cost too much.
I don't know. Well, Sony owns them, so Sony must have to give them some direction. I know they said, like, hey, let's have a hit. Do Destiny 3. It will. Some studios, the decisions they make sometimes, you can clearly tell they're leaving. They complain about not getting enough money and they want to raise the prices on everything. But on the flip side, they just leave money on the table when all people want. I remember back in the day, I played 5 years of DC Universe Online. 5 years of that shit. I played that. That was the most I've ever played a video game in my life. PlayStation 3, PC, the whole nine. I played it back in the day. All that community wanted, because now that game is still out with PS3 like level.
Yeah.
All that community ever wanted was DC Universe Online 2. Like, just give us a new. Yeah. Nope. They just, and Sony got rid of it. Sony sold it off to that budget studio, Daybreak, and they just milked it for everything they could, and then it just
died out. Yeah.
There's still a few people who play it, but same thing with this. Feels like with Destiny. Like, dude, you could make Destiny 3 with updated graphics and some new gameplay mechanics.
You also wonder,
fresh story.
Because I know a lot of these studios also, they replace a lot of the original teams that made
I get it. Yeah.
And had the desire and the vision. And so even the people who had the original vision and real passion for what Destiny was going to be have kind of gone, they've left, and this is
I
these
get
are just
it.
people who are looking for work. And so you wonder if that also impacts both the quality and the desire to, get it done, put in the work that it takes. Because I do think game development, people don't understand, is a very work-intensive industry.
It's an art.
You have to love it. You have to want to do it. You have to be like starving artist kind of focus for it.
Black Ram talked to us about that in the interview we did with him when he said he originally wanted to be a computer programmer for video games. And he did it for a hot second and went, oh boy, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like, it is X's and O's and commas, and you have to really be passionate about the art that you are creating. And for them, the original studio, just like the guys who did, I think, The Witcher 3, a bunch of them quit. And
the people who are working on The Witcher now aren't even the same. The people who did Witcher 3 are doing a different game.
That's what I was saying. They're doing that Skinwalkers or Dawn of the Skinwalker or something that kind of looks like The Witcher.
It'll probably be 1,000 times better than the upcoming.
It's like 30 guys. They're probably partying with the Expedition 33 guys and ladies. So I don't know. I don't know why Destiny. I don't know. I just keep calling it Destiny. I don't know why Bungie would do that. I don't know. Studios make bad decisions all the time. Look what Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us. It's dead.
Yeah.
They had the biggest, almost the biggest franchise on PlayStation. Down from Uncharted and Kratos, I would argue.
I almost felt like, God, you could almost see that coming for Naughty Dog, though, because
Neil's a dick.
When it first came out, it was hot, right? And then they did the pull the rug out from all the users things where the DLC was like, oh, you thought this is who the character was.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and anytime you try to like trick the player base into doing your thing, into, oh, you like the character? Well, you know, it's like
the message.
You can tell that like they were already trying to like force people to do what they wanted and shift it.
Well, the original creator of the Last of Us, it was a team. It was Neil Druckmann and this other guy.
I forgot there a chick that was involved.
Might have been, but this other guy was the one who kept Neil in line.
Yeah,
and so they were able to work together, kind of like a Spielberg Lucas type of team.
Yeah.
Where if Spielberg would keep George Lucas in line, because George always had these crazy fucking ideas of what he wanted Indiana Jones to do, and all the like. We want Indy to go to Mars, and Spielberg's like, no, that doesn't work for Indy. So he would they would hold each other with their creative brilliance and like control what they were doing together as a team. There was another guy on the original Naughty Dog. Him and Druckmann, whatever happened between them, that guy left Naughty Dog. So Druckmann had full creative control over that DLC you're speaking of, and then moving forward. And then HBO made the mistake of letting that asshole have full creative control over the show. The show's dead.
Yeah, boy,
the viewership's gone.
Especially this.
Yeah,
this season killed. Like,
we all
people
warned
were
them.
still kind of trying to watch it. They're trying to like give it the benefit of the doubt,
bro.
But man, this season was just like,
we all warned them on the internet. Yeah. Everybody warned them on YouTube. Everybody said, "Don't follow the story of the second game." He was just fucked if he did and fucked if he didn't, because if he didn't follow the story of the game, then it would be admitting that he's a fucking asshole for what he did. Yeah. And if he did follow the story of the game, nobody's gonna watch it. So he took and then, oh my God, I'm going to be a dad, and all that horrible shit in the second season. Terrible miscasting. Come on, bro.
Oh, like, here's my favorite meme that I saw. That it has her going, "Oh my God, I'm going to be a dad." It shows her face, and then it shows like a C scan or a scan. What do they do? The ultra sound scan of like a potato in the womb. And her face looks like a potato. That cracked me up. It's like, I just, dad, and it was like just a potato. I was like, yeah, that works about right.
You can't write the jokes fast enough for that bullshit. And then to kill off your main star, Pedro. Listen, for whatever everybody thinks of Pedro Pascal, okay?
He's a good actor.
He's a great actor. And he's obviously in every fucking movie and commercial right now. Until the Fantastic Four bombs, and then he'll probably go away for a little bit. But you kill off the main star of the show, the only character that we all like in the TV show. In the video game, we adored Ellie and him equally in the first game. And then you kill him off. I'm not spoiling anything. That was episode 2. You're on episode 7, so get a life. You know what I mean? So, but what do you think's gonna happen to the audience? Now you got this little. She's not a good actor. Whatever she wants to be called. I don't know why people
pretend like she's
abysmal.
Yeah,
and she looks nothing like Ellie from the game at all. She doesn't act like Ellie at all.
Well, she's a 22-year-old woman, which is the other thing. She's not even a child.
And the other thing is the girl that they cop out when they tried to cop out. They didn't cop out of her. So they cast that lady who plays Abby. That she's pretty good looking, beautiful, who plays Abby in the show.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you guys have the balls to cast a linebacker from the Dallas Cowboys?
That's what I was saying. It'd be like me,
to play Abby from the game. That girl, that lady, who's a decent actress, should have been Ellie.
Yeah,
like she's pretty good. I'm like, I don't know but the show's dead. HBO could have had a really big hit on their hands for a few years, 3, 4, 5 seasons, and it's dead. There's no way there's a season 3 of this bullshit.
Didn't they? I think they signed up for season 3, but I bet you that's the last.
No
one. I
way.
Bet you it's so bad.
Warner Brothers don't have any extra money, bro. They ain't getting a season 3.
That's true.
Warner Brothers, we'll end on this. They'll think this is funny.
Actually, I did want to ask you. I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. So we'll do one more thing. Yes.
No. So I was just gonna say Max. Remember when it was HBO Max?
Yeah.
And me and you and everybody, we all talked about how stupid the rebranding was to just call it Max. They finally turned it back into HBO Max after 2 years. I thought that was funny. But it's, you know, so yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. We'll finish on your thing.
I was going to ask you, oh my God, I forgot my thought. What were we talking about? Hold on.
Last of Us.
And then, I was going to ask you about so both of us kind of agree, like, Hollywood kind of needs its ass beat so that it'll reset, or other studios can grow, because there are now some smaller studios that are like entertainment Hollywood type studios. They're creating good, almost like AA. I would call it like AA movies.
Yeah. A24.
Yeah.
Great studio.
So, but you know how Trump was talking about doing the tariffs on any external shot movies or stuff to try to save Hollywood. Part of me is like, I wish someone would get them, like, that's not the problem. That's not why Hollywood's dying. And I don't think that, and also I don't think these big studios need let capitalism do its thing. Free market capitalism. If they suck and people don't want to watch their movies, then let them die out and let these other AA studios, they'll take over. They will absolutely.
I think that's a great theme, a great topic for our next episode.
Okay, is topic for this one. Okay.
Well, I would say I will finish on this. I just watched the full final trailer for Superman, which comes out July 11th. And the only fictional character I am a bigger fan of than the Doomslayer is Superman.
Mr. Americana, yes.
Truth, justice, and I love Superman. Okay? Right. My dad loves Superman. I love Superman. Like, that was my shit. He's my guy. My dining room in Plyhouse is the Justice Hall. I'm decorating that to look like the Justice Hall. You are sitting down when you eat dinner to have a meeting with Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Superman. Okay? I saw the final trailer. I'm the audience for this movie. I'm already pissed you got rid of Henry Cavill, and I am not a Zack Snyder bro. Okay? So I'm not one of those. But I thought Henry Cavill was a fantastic Superman who never had an opportunity to be a fantastic Superman.
Agreed.
He had it, right? They replaced him with a guy who kind of looks like him. Almost the same age, even though they claimed, we need younger. Yeah. Okay, he was fucking 2 years younger. They replaced a guy. I watched the final trailer. I'm not interested in seeing the movie. I was disappointed in the trailer. I'm not, and I love the first quick little teaser trailer that James Gunn did.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I hope I'm wrong, bro. I pray I'm wrong. I think the world needs a good Superman movie. For morale, I really do. I think they need to see Superman rescuing people and people taking care of people and knowing that truth, justice, and the American way is the real attitude we should all have here in America towards each other.
Yeah.
Like, I really think it would. Like, Hollywood creates a lot of these societal problems that we all have.
They could influence it.
And we need more movies like Rocky. We need more movies like Superman with Christopher Reeve. We need more movies that show that America is a shining beacon on a hill, and not just some fucking piece of shit. Like, to get people to believe again, to make things better. And I don't think James Gunn is. I don't think this is going to happen. I just watched it, and I thought Superman was a cuck in the trailer.
Okay, so I have a very interesting story for you that happened this week. That will play into this. So I was playing, and give me time to tell this story. I was playing Warzone, right? And me and a friend were playing, and we ended up teaming up with two other guys, because you know how you can fill in. So I was playing with these two guys. One of the guys, or one of the players, I should say, they were using voice chat. Both of them were using voice chat, but one of them was named Mermaid Lesbian, okay? And the name was Wifey.
Oh, okay.
Very much a dude. Like, had the same voice as I had. So there's a part of me right when we first started playing was
pretty funny.
Oh boy. Right?
Yeah.
But he was real nice. Super great guy. So I thought, well, maybe it's a joke. Maybe they're playing, off the terms. So I talked to him. I liked him. I started talking to him. He was an ex-pro gamer. He played professionally Rainbow Six. He played Halo back in the day. He was big on all this stuff. But he was not a she then. But anyway, I played the second round, and he started.
Okay.
I'm a city girl. Oh, I'm a Marvel girl. And he was talking about how much he loved the way the new Superman looked. And my brain was like, boy, this is the most anti-ply person. I wonder how that will work. I actually thought about you when he was talking, or I'm sorry, when she just was talking about how much they would love the movie. I thought, boy, if they're loving the movie, and here's Mr. Macho Americana, straight man, fly as straight as can be, you know, how would that offset? And so it makes sense. That's all I'm saying. Your position on watching this game compared to your antithesis, it makes sense to me. That's all I'm saying.
It looks
funny.
Yeah, first of all, it looks like a CW show almost. It doesn't. I don't know what they're missing or what they're going for in the aesthetics of the film, but it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel like when you watch the trailer, it doesn't feel like a full feature length AAA big budget summer movie. It almost looks like it was on TV a little bit. I don't know, maybe because of the color saturations. I don't like his suit. I think his suit, he looks like I don't know, he doesn't look like he fills out his suit. I don't know. I'm sure he's in great shape. He's in better shape than me. So that's not me judging his physique, but the suit they got on him almost looks like pajamas. All right? And then on top of that, and this could be not in the movie. I don't know the actual movie. The entirety of the trailer is everybody shitting all over Superman.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I actually did hear.
And I'm like,
about that.
And then on top of that, like the opening scene of the trailer is Lois interviewing him in like some mock interview in their apartment where she already knows he's Superman, whatever. Like they're sitting there, and he's getting aggravated and angry with her aggressive questioning. And he's actually acting kind of like a little beta cuck when he's yelling at her, going, "What are you talking about? I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, this bro don't lose his cool. Yeah. What is going on here? Go back to the original movie. Christopher Reeve, obviously the greatest Superman ever, whatever. Lois interviews him. She's admiring him. She loves him. She's looking up to him. Like Margot Kidder's eyes are locked in on him. Lois is bitching, and this one, she's like bossing him around, and he's like, "Whoa, I don't," and he makes these faces that like guys make in divorce court. Oh, you know, you can see, you know what I mean? I'm like, and then the rest of the trailer, they keep showing that one scene where he saves like this little girl from like all these pipes coming in. That's cool. It's a great shot. But then the rest of the thing is people are throwing garbage at him. He's all beat up. He's bleeding. He's laying over here, whatever. Yeah. Then you got it looks like 1,000 other characters are in this movie. Like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, but I love all those characters. I do. I love those characters.
But you're worried they're going to take too much of the story away from Superman. And make
what the fuck are they doing in this launch movie for Superman?
Yeah.
You're going to overcrowd the plot. And Warner Brothers can't afford this movie to tank. Like, they had a lucky hit with Minecraft, which was slop, but whatever, the kids loved it. They got lucky with the Minecraft one. They're hurting. They're selling off properties. To be honest with you, you don't even really need HBO Max anymore if you have Netflix, because they leased all their movies and TV shows over to Netflix because they're hurting for money.
Yep.
Warner Brothers just destroyed their gaming division because of Suicide Squad. They shut down Monolith, which is the great studio that did Shadow of War, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Monolith was awesome. They scrapped Monolith because Rocksteady fucked up with them. Monolith got shut down. That's crazy. So Warner Brothers has been cutting. They something just happened behind the scenes because Mortal Kombat 1 shut off all their future plans to release more characters and more things for MK1, and they released the definitive edition. They're done with it. They're moving on to something else. So a lot of behind the scenes bullshit going on at Warner Brothers. They cannot afford for Superman to not do good. And it's the easiest formula in the world. No disrespect to the Call of Duty player that you met the other day.
Well, I was going to say, they were actually very lovely. They were very kind, very nice.
This is not a personal jab.
I was just using them as a socially a polar opposite version of you. That's all.
What I mean is no disrespect to them. I'm sure they're awesome. Yeah. They're nice. They like a movie a certain way. Everything. Not enough of them. The movie's not going to do well. If it portrays,
that is a factual yes.
if it is exactly as it's portrayed in the trailer, if that's the attitude of the movie, where like Lois even says to him in the trailer, she's like, "Oh, you have a dog?" Because he has crypto.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Yeah, he has a dog, bitch. Like, who says that? Like, she's like, "Oh, you have a dog?" Like, just her attitude. And she's a great actress. The lady they picked.
Yeah.
She looks great as Lois Lane. The guy they picked as, that James Gunn picked for Lex Luthor looks awesome. Nicholas Hoult. Way better than the other guy who played him in Zack Snyder's.
You think they're setting it up? In the,
do you think
they're setting up so that he comes through as traditional Superman? It's like the development of him, or
I don't know. I hope
that's why I was wondering. If
we've had enough of that, man.
I agree. The
no
problem
more
with,
origins.
That is the problem with Superman, right?
Yeah, more.
They keep refreshing, so you just keep getting the origin of Superman over and over and over again. And I think at some point in time, people are like,
I think
we get it, we know.
I think James Gunn is going to fall into the liberal trap that they can't get away from, and he's going to portray Superman as an illegal alien that the world in America doesn't want to accept, and everybody's going to come after him, and he's going to be That's why they're throwing garbage at him. That's why they're telling him to go home. So James Gunn is hatred for certain types of politics. Even though he said he's going to inject it. And then,
well, there's a subconscious, right? Like we as people automatically inject our subconscious.
Nicholas Hoult is going to play Lex Luthor as Elon. Like you can already feel. And I'm like, guys, this is the easiest way to print money.
Yeah.
The easiest fucking thing to do. There is an American flag in the trailer. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to give that a positive. There's actually an American flag in the trailer. Okay? So that, who knows? The producer of the movie has said multiple times that this is classic portrayed Superman. He's tried to push off that this is, he has said, the producer of the movie has said truth, justice, and the American way. However, that particular piece of dialogue is not in the film, confirmed. However, he has said it over and over again in interviews. So I'm getting mixed signals. I just saw the actual trailer, this one, and I'm like, this is... And then, of course, James Gunn has to let everybody know 18 times he directed the movie, right? So for director James Gunn, and James Gunn did this scene, and James, and then you see that all over the trailer. And I'm not really sold on the music. The music sounds to me like someone did an electric keyboard in my studio. And I want a full orchestra from London to do it.
Right.
I want that full orchestra that you hear in Lord of the Rings. I want that full orchestra that you hear in the original Superman movies from Richard Donner and John Williams. I don't want electronica music in a Superman movie. It needs to be big. It needs to show the brilliance of human creativity through orchestral, through like real, no AI bullshit, show what humans are capable of. I don't feel that when I watch the trailer. They ripped off John Williams quick, dun 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 dun. But it sounds electronic. It sounds like me and you are playing it on fucking Audacity on our computer. Mm-hmm. I just hope, man. I have some faith in James Gunn. I do love the Suicide Squad movie a lot. I think Guardians of the Galaxy were good films. He's very good at the team up, buddy. A bunch of dickheads hanging out, bad guys talking shit and telling jokes and being dirty kind of movies. He's very good at that. Everybody was very concerned if he could handle a movie about one very moral, very upstanding superhero, because that's not his writing style either.
Yes, that's not him, yeah.
So I'm trying my best not to shit on him because I do like a lot of his work. I don't like a lot of the jokes he told on Twitter and other things that were forgiven a long time ago about kids, which I haven't forgotten about, which is why he got fired from Disney and then rehired from Disney, if we all remember that, when he was doing Guardians of the Galaxy 2 into 3.
Yeah.
The old tweets came up and he said, I was just joking, but they were pretty graphically disgusting jokes and quotes that, like, what the fuck are you doing typing that? However, creatively, personal feelings aside, he has made some very good films. They're not Superman films. And I don't know if he has... I don't know if... He's not Richard Donner. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm going to have to go see it. Like, I have no choice. But whether or not I see it 6 times or 1 time, whether or not I buy it on Blu-ray and watch it in my movie theater at my house and buy a whole bunch of merch from it, or whether I just go see it 1 time will be determined on July 11th.
Yeah.
Because if it's a good movie, I'll get obsessed with it. I'll buy the merch from it. You know me. Yeah. If it's a shitty movie, I'm going to watch it once, and then I'm going to just go back to watching Henry Cavill and watching Christopher Reeve and Dean Cain and that guy on the show. The guy on the show, Lois and what is it called? No, not well. He was good too, but I don't consider that Superman. That's Superboy. But the new show that they just made, Lois and is it Superman and Lois? It's a lot. Tyler's.
I have no idea.
Tyler, I forgot the guy's last name, but he plays Superman on this show that's been going for 4 seasons on the CW. It's a full-grown Superman. He's married to Lois. They live in the Midwest, and they have 2 boys.
Okay. Yeah. I know. I've seen.
Yeah, that guy plays a damn good Superman. I don't think he's quite big enough, like in terms of he's still in great shape, but I think he should put on 30, 40 pounds of muscle. But the show, he fought Doomsday in the show. If you guys haven't seen that, watch that YouTube clip of him fighting Doomsday in the street. It's better than what you see in the movies. That guy is a good Superman. He plays him as a wholesome father, an upstanding citizen, as a Boy Scout. That Superman's supposed to be a Boy Scout. He's supposed to take you to your lawyer. That's his psychology. He wants to rip your face off, but it's not the right thing to do. He controls himself, and he gives everybody the rights that they deserve. Batman is going to punch you in the face, kick you in the nuts. You know what I mean? Batman does whatever it takes, right? He's the antithesis of Superman. Batman's the playboy. That's not Superman.
Think Punisher would be the antithesis.
Because
Batman still refuses to kill anybody, which actually.
Well, if you're not as Ben Affleck, but yeah. Batman. I'm just meant in the DC universe. Batman and Superman are salt and pepper. They are. They fight over the leadership of the Justice League because Superman wants to do it the right way, and Batman says that's stupid. Joker is going to do this, and but Superman's also not a bitch. Like, what? Why is he taking all this shit from everybody? He's not putting up with that. He's here to save everybody. He's hope. I don't know. I will see. I just, sorry to go off on that tangent, but I did see the trailer, and I was like, oh, and I saw the Man of Steel trailers, bro, and I was like sweating to get into that movie theater, because those trailers, movie aside, whatever your opinion is of Man of Steel, I think it's a very good film. Some people don't. Those trailers, everybody universally agreed, had you hyped to go see that movie. You were pumped to get into that theater for Man of Steel. These trailers, no. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm nervous. I'm rooting for it. I want DC so bad. I fucking hate Marvel. You know me. I'm a DC nut. Like, I just want it so bad. And I just was like, oof, I don't know, man. I don't know. But we'll see. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah,
and I gotta pee.
You've went past my knowledge of movies and stuff. So
just DC. I'm not really even into movies anymore. I don't watch new movies. The only movie I saw recently in the theater was Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, which was basically a spiritual remake of From Dusk Till Dawn. Remember with George Clooney?
Huh?
Fantastic film. I think as of right now, I think Sinners would be Best Picture of the Year if I was choosing, from what I've seen. Yeah. So, and I've seen probably 10 of the bigger movies to come out this year. I don't see a lot of indie shit, but I mean, Michael B. Jordan is amazing. The film is amazing. Ryan Coogler's direction is amazing. I had very few criticisms of the film. It's a better film than From Dusk Till Dawn, but From Dusk Till Dawn is an OG classic. It is, Michael B. Jordan plays 2 characters in it, 2 twin brothers. The music is fantastic. I urge everybody to listen to the soundtrack with the blues and the Irish folk music, and it's all worked into the story. So good, dude. The only criticism I had in the movie is it had 3 endings. Like Lord of the Rings. There was 3 endings, and the second one I thought was a little stupid. And I thought the second one was like a little like shoehorned in to like make a corporate boardroom feel better. But the other two were fantastic. And I thought the movie was the best film I've seen this year. And that's all I got. And that trailer looked great, and I went and saw the movie and loved it. This trailer, could be a special on Netflix. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, Preach, thanks for joining me today. I got to pee like a racehorse and then go put together furniture, but I'll hit you up tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're following. We love you guys. Hit that button. Spotify, Apple, iTunes, wherever it is. Leave a comment.
Excuse me, taking off.
We'll see you all next time.